Well, we said it earlier in the week, man. It takes one win to get this thing started, and we got it. And so now it's up to us to take the momentum. Obviously looking at the film today, there's a lot of stuff that we can still get better at. Correct, tells of two different halves. Obviously speaking on the offensive side, but we got to figure out a way to start faster. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, going to halftime, sitting down and making adjustments and coming out in the third quarter and executing it on. I think it was 3 scoring drives in a row, no punts. Is obviously what you want, but we got to figure out how we can put together a full 60 minutes.
Hey, Morgan, when you were in that second half and it was flowing the way it was in those 3 series, what did that feel like? Did you have a feel like this is what it's supposed to be like and what we've been waiting for all year?
Yeah.
And what did click?
I think when you turn on the film and you watch the game, you see all 11 people in and out of the huddle working at a high intensity, and even if they were wrong in the assignment, but they were going 100 miles per hour, that makes a difference, right? It's like, hey, as long as we can get 11 on 11, or even 10 hats, our running backs are very dynamic and good to be able to make one in the whole miss, and I think that's what you saw was just guys taking the level of intensity up a little bit after making halftime adjustments, and that's what you want to see. But obviously, you want to be able to start fast as well.
Morgan, Aaron talked after the game about what you said at halftime. What did you say? What was your message to the guys?
Simply, obviously, you looked at the first half, man. It was nothing that they did to stop us from stopping ourselves. And when you look back at that, you look back at that, and you get into halftime, you tell the guys like, hey, if we just put one good drive together, we can get this thing we can get this thing going. Because we moved the ball, up and down the field throughout the game, and but it was just coming back to those halftime adjustments and guys getting together, not sitting in their locker, not sitting in their position groups, but getting together as an offense and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to go out here and do. This is the outcome we're going to have, because our defense was playing lights out. And anytime your defense is playing at a high level like that, I think the guys had 8 sacks, right? Special teams was flipping the field for us and everything like that. So we had to take the opportunity, take advantage of it, and and anytime you can get the guys together and just hey, and let them know, like, hey, it was nothing that they did to stop us. It was all self-inflicted wounds. That you correct a little bit of things, you tweak a little bit of things, and you go out there and play football.
Morgan, Aaron probably had his best stretch as a Jet in that second half. His numbers were pretty remarkable. What was that like? Obviously you're blocking for him, so you're not really seeing it, but when you go back and look at that half, what was that like to see him perform like that, and how exciting was that when you look ahead here?
Yeah, I think obviously the key to the first half that we did well was that we were averaging about 5 yards a game on running the ball, right? And so that's what we said we needed to do. We need to go out there and make it easier for Aaron and not put all the stress up on him and getting into 3rd and 10 and 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12s. Let's keep the sticks moving so we can keep the whole offensive playbook open. And I think when you got to the second half, you saw the runs continuing going. Our running backs were running. They were running with their hair on fire. And everybody was doing their job. Everybody was blocking. I seen Malachi Corley on a couple of plays in the second half. From the slot receiver, come in and crack a linebacker. And so when you got guys that are willing on the outside to go in there and throw their shoulders in there and steal a block, man, it just makes the run game pop. And then obviously you let 8 be 8, and that's what we're able to do. We're able to attack their defense on many levels, and that's what it looks like.
Morgan, what kind of challenge does this Cardinals defense present? I think they had 6 sacks yesterday against Chicago.
Obviously, man, it's a week-to-week thing, man. Everybody has great players. Everybody has great talent. I mean, obviously for them, they have a lot of talent, and we look to go out there. Obviously it's a road trip, and look to go out there and take what we strived from on Thursday night, and obviously do better than what we did on Thursday night. But it's just the same old. It's go out there, operate as a great offense, in and out the huddle, clean operations, no penalties. And get the ball moving, get the ball in our running backs' hands and our playmakers, and stretch this offense out.
Hey, Morgan, can you talk about what Olu did the other night, just never having to play right guard,
Yeah.
he comes in and he plays, and also during the game, were you in his ear? How much did you help him along in terms of, which plays, who to block, and so forth?
Yeah, I think the amazing thing about that is that you've seen a band of brothers go to him on the sideline when we found out that he was going to go in and guard. From AVT, who was not dressed out, because of injury, going to him and just talking to him about different techniques. And then obviously myself as a veteran guy, man, everybody's had that opportunity where you got thrown in something similar to that, and it's sink or swim. But I just told him, I said, look, man, don't worry about it. We'll make the calls, we'll adjust on protection, but just go out there and play. But the biggest thing for him is that like he worked his ass off all off season, OTAs, training camp, to seize any moment that is available for him, right? And so we talked about that. Obviously earlier in the season, I missed a couple of games. He goes in at right tackle. He never played guard in his life, but they seize that opportunity. And when you have a guy that works his tail off every day, you have the utmost respect for him. You have the utmost. Not even just respect, but just knowing that he's going to get the job done, because he put out the sweat, blood, and tears out there on Monday through Wednesday, working his craft, and it's a minor adjustment for him, but he took the field and he didn't look back.
Have you ever had to do that in your career, get thrown into a spot that you'd never played before?
No, but I got thrown in that tackle a couple of times, so it's a little different. But for him, man, I just you guys have written a lot on him over the course of the season, and you know how we speak highly about him. But that's just the type of guy he is, man. He's made for football. He's made for the big moment. He's done it all his life, man. And when you got a band of brothers, know that you got that got your back. Anything's possible.
Are there no questions for Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan, can you tell us, just what you're playing through right now? I mean, you haven't practiced as much lately, but you're out there on Sundays. What are you dealing with?
Same thing that I got in the Patriots game, first Patriots game. Grade 2 MCL tear, a little meniscus, and a little fracture. So, obviously, when you go through a battle of OTAs and training camp with your guys, you build this camaraderie that never goes away, and you never want to feel like you let guys down. But everybody in this locker room is playing through something, whether it's personal, whether it's physical, emotional, or whatever it is. And that's what football teams are great for, right? It's because we band together. When I can't give you 100%, I know the guy right there beside me is going to give the extra 15% or whatever it is. And you can't, being a veteran guy, you just always want to be able to grace the field. You never know when it's going to be your last time, and I take that personally. So, but it's been fun. It's obviously been fun with the guys. They've been picking me up, and like I said, everybody's playing with something. So, yeah.